Welcome or welcome back to the Awkward Chronicles. My name is Larissa, and today we are doing Loud Truck. Today we are doing my first physique check-in, an Oura Ring update. Hello, I just got back from the gym, so I also just really wanted to film near my Taylor Swift piano wall. I'm so excited for the new album, guys. Also just love that we got to FaceTime with our close personal friend Taylor Swift for 2 hours. That's not the point of this video. Hello, we're just sitting down chatting about my first month physique update and whatnot. So if this is very triggering for you, please skip this video. Yeah, I think moving forward, I'm just gonna do separate videos. That way, if you don't care, slash like it is a triggering topic for you, you don't have to watch it, which is wonderful. I've been using my Oura Ring, like I said in my Oura Ring update. I'm gonna be using it to help myself get through a cut and using it to monitor the amount of calories burned and then tracking my meals through MyFitnessPal, seeing calories in versus calories out. We're doing a cut. It's a mini cut. It's not that big of a deal. But I just wanted to give a monthly update. I feel like that's better to hold me accountable. It also gives some real-time feedback. I did make notes. I also do a 4-week, what's called a mesocycle, do a progressive overloading workout plan in the sense of I weightlift, legs, push, pull, strength train 3 days a week, and then I'll either walk, play volleyball, do step, do some yoga. I'm very active and my job is fairly active as well. Not as much as I was thinking it was originally. On my feet pretty much all day. I want to make sure I'm hitting the necessary movement in order to hit a specific caloric burn. That way I can keep my calories a little higher. We had some hiccups this month, unfortunately. So let's get into it. All right, well, I'm not going to give you like specific measurements or weight because it honestly doesn't matter. They're tracking tools for me. My body type is not your body type. So this is very much focused on me. This is my channel, so therefore focused on me. What I say is very applicable to me, myself, and I. I've been doing this for many, many years now, and I also have a health and fitness background. These first 4 weeks started off really motivating. I also kind of paired unintentionally with my cycle. So we're talking a lot about cycles. Mesocycle, progressive overload, and everything. So meaning that I have an A, B, C, and kind of a D week. I don't know. I kind of lift on how I'm feeling and that pairs up very nicely with my hormonal cycle. Ovulation week, which is week 1 for me, the week 1 or the A week of the mesocycle, that's when I'm going to be lifting heaviest. Depending upon how I'm feeling, it could be a 2 to 4 rep range, it could be a 4 to 6 rep range. The B week is 6 to 8, and then C week is 8 to 10, and then D week is 10 to 12. I don't necessarily stick to that all the time, but if I'm feeling good, I will push myself to those. But sometimes I do need to take it easier. It's good to push yourself, but not to the effect of you're going to injure yourself or get sick or something, you know? Week 1, I was super motivated, lots of energy. Like I said, I was in my ovulation phase, which is when I am yes, we're going, we're great. I love it here. Love to move, love to be active, blah, blah, blah. So ovulation is when I pair the heaviest week, my A week, with that, because that is when I am jazzed to be alive. I have a lot more strength, a lot more energy, feeling great. And I did fantastic. I did drop 1.2 pounds that week, which was a little bit more than my target. I usually try to do about a pound a week. Week 2 was something. Headed into luteal phase. I definitely get more PMS symptoms during my luteal phase. I am way more fatigued, especially towards the end heading into the menstrual phase. This is where I started to get hungrier because I was in a deficit. And week 1, I was still feeding off of the stores that I had previously from accidentally bulking. Those stores started getting depleted. So I did notice a lot more hunger. It wasn't uncomfortable, but I was just man, I'm a little hungry, which is the case in a cut. You're not going to be full. So that's where I end up being strategic with my meal timing specifically. I am naturally a grazer of food throughout the day anyway, which was really helpful in this phase. But yeah, definitely noticed a little bit hungrier. On that Wednesday of week 2, my Oura Ring alerted me that I had a mild signs of alert of symptoms, mild symptoms alert or something. And I unfortunately caught a cold. Along with being in the luteal phase, headed into the menstrual phase, I was exhausted. I was just more fatigued and my throat hurt. I thankfully didn't get a cough or like any upper respiratory things for too long. I think I had a day where I just like coughed a little bit. The best thing that my body needed was rest for that, for all of the symptoms I was having. I was not going to push myself into hard workouts, into moving even more when my body was just trying to recover and trying to fight the signs of the cold. Because like the last thing I want to do is make it worse. That Wednesday when I got that sign, I just laid on the couch and read. I also was eating a lot more honey for soothing my throat, and I have honey lozenges. And honey doesn't always agree with my stomach. Like, it is something that I'm trying to put back into my diet. With that and having a cold, my digestive system takes a huge hit because it's trying to bring me back to normal. As a girly with IBS, like, it is very frustrating because my digestive system had been good for a few weeks at that point. I was like, yes, we are awesome. We're doing great. And then unfortunately, life happens, and it will probably take another couple weeks for it to regulate still. So I was really bloated. Again, I was in a certain luteal heading into menstrual phase, so I was already bloated from that, but like bloated from having honey and being sick and not digesting things properly. I took it a lot easier. Week 3 was my menstrual phase, and I was still a little sick. Also, like, had bad cramps, and my ring alerted me to that too. It said I was, instead of mild symptoms, it said like major symptoms or something. Yeah, major signs alert on that Monday. And the only thing I can think of, because I felt fine, like I felt like I recovered from the cold pretty quickly then, but I was having really bad cramps all day that day. So that was kind of fascinating. I did take a really long walk. I was just sweating so much, which was so wonderful. Like, I felt cleansed after that. I don't sweat often, but like my body needed to get whatever was in my system out of it, and that was the best way. Usually when I'm sick or something, the best thing I can do is like sweat, cry, and pee. Like, just get those fluids out, replace it with drinking more water and whatnot. Yeah, like I said, week 1, I dropped 1.2 pounds. Week 2, I dropped 0.4 pounds. From week 3 to week 4, I went back up 0.6 pounds. Very big fluctuation. Again, I super bloated. I was uncomfortable and not digesting properly. I kind of take those measurements with a grain of salt, but at the same time, like, I also wasn't hitting the calories burned that I needed to at that time because I was just really focusing on not getting more sick than I was, which again, I wasn't even that sick, but I didn't want it to turn into something even worse because there were so many people I know that were getting like fevers, really bad cold and flu. Just there's a lot of junk going around right now, and the last thing I wanted was to put my immune system under more stress. Yeah, week 4 felt really good. I took so many walks. I'm into week 5 now, so just timeline wise, like, I just started week 5. Being in week 4, I felt back to myself, back to normal, and I was moving a ton, like lots of walks. I went for so many walks. Looking at that and looking at how many walks that I went on, because I was listening to a lot of good audiobooks too, and I just wanted to walk so I could listen to the audiobooks. That was really helpful. But I either need to walk faster, start jogging again, which I probably won't do that. I just hate running. I definitely need to up my intensity in a lot more ways because I was hitting well past my step goal, but my calories burned I was barely hitting that threshold. I am going to do step more often. I know that's one of my monthly goals, is to do at least twice a month. It would be amazing if I could do it weekly, but for right now I'm settling on twice a month just because that is such a great workout. Like I said, I use the scale weekly. Sometimes it's not very accurate, depends on like water retention and all of that jazz. Week 4 and then my just weigh in going into week 5, I dropped almost a pound. It was 0.8 pounds. So I feel like we're getting back on track. Week 1, I took measurements, and then week 5, at the end of week 4, starting at week 5, took another measurement update. I don't want to do measurements every week. I just, mainly because I'm lazy. And I would rather see it in a monthly progression than a weekly progression, but some people will do weekly, and good on them. I don't have the patience for it. It doesn't take long, but I'm just like annoyed by it. But with that, I did drop 3.4 inches in total. I measure my biceps, my chest, my waist, my hips, my glutes, and my thighs. I mainly stick to the right side for like the bicep and the thighs. From all of those places, I dropped 3.4 inches. My hips were the most that dropped. I think I dropped a full 1.5 inches off of my hips, that was startling. Either I measured goofily on week 1, but I don't think I did because I measure in the same spots. I even measured twice. I'm like, this has gotta be wrong. And I'm like, no, that's correct. That was interesting. And like when you total it all up together, it's like, oh wow. I think my bicep, I dropped like 3/8 of an inch. A couple other spots I dropped a 1/4 inch or so, but totaling it all together, that was pretty fascinating. Like I said in the other video, like again, weight is just a tracking method that I use at this point in time with this certain physique that I'm in right now. I have been at this same weight before with a completely different body fat percentage and pretty much body type. Like I did not have as much muscle mass as I do now. My physique looked different, but I was still at this same weight. Scale is just easy, accessible tracking tool, but not over, I think, a long span of time. Especially if you are like me and do like cut phases, bulking phases, and doing those cycles, like it's not gonna mean much in the long term, whereas like in the short little periods that I do, it's helpful. I did take a weekly video of my physique on weigh-in day. So what I was being in that morning, just a friendly reminder, no need to comment on my body at all. It's just for demonstrative purposes. Positive, negative, neutral, no comments on it at all. I don't need them. It's just my skin suit. As of right now, I haven't even compared them side by side. I don't feel like there's gonna be much of a difference, but there could be. So we could all be surprised here. So like my weigh-in day is I get up, I go to the bathroom, I weigh myself. Like I do try to keep the same outfit. See that it's not always like a different clothing or different shape of clothing or whatnot. It's always gonna be the same clothing, as well as I do try to get the same lighting. But that's not always the case either. Heading into week 5 and like the rest of this month, I am more optimistic. Game plan moving forward into this next month here. I am going to try and up my intensity, at least doing a step workout weekly. Again, I know my goal for the month is to do it twice per month, but I would like to do step aerobics weekly. Attempt to add at least 2 core exercises every day, or at least on the days that I'm not weight training, help my core strengthen. I definitely have been neglecting that, and I haven't meant to, but I also just hate doing abs. I used to love it. I used to be a psychopath that like loved doing leg day, loved doing core work. That is my plan moving forward, is to like increase my intensity for my cardio by doing step at least once a week, and then also walking a little bit faster, and then doing some sort of core exercise. Now that I'm not sick anymore, hopefully I won't get sick again. We're on the up and up, but that's just me in my ovulation phase right now with a ton of energy and feeling really amazing. So we'll see what happens when I shift into my luteal into menstrual phase. Update on the ring, like I'm still loving it. I love that it tracks my sleep. I love that it gives me a readiness score because it's generally been pretty accurate, and I love seeing the caloric burn that I do every day, which has been so fascinating. And it's just helped me be mindful of that and what is useful and effective in workouts, to where I don't have to walk 20,000 steps per day to like hit the minimum that I need to, you know? Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And if you want to follow along in this journey or are interested in bookish content, feel free to stick around and subscribe to the channel, as well as like this video. I would really appreciate it. And with that being said, respect others, respect yourself, and do something amazing with your day. Thanks, bye.